We are live
there's
now.
There's the little
there's
light.
the red light
little
saying,
siren going, ooh.
saying we're on. Hello and
Hello.
welcome to. I'm Linda. And
I'm
this
Mike.
is Mike.
Hello.
And today we are talking about plateaus. And plateaus are not very good things, are they?
No, I've been waiting for this topic for a long time, and I'm ready to tackle it. So yeah, plateaus. Plateaus is what we're all about here, and that's what we help you to break through. So like if Elvis were alive today, we're going to help you break that plateau.
Oh my gosh!
That was bad. I know, it was so bad.
It was bad. Now you're going to talk about peanut butter and banana sandwiches.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we got the Elvis reference for you out there. So anyway, let's first of all let's talk about the physical reason why you might go through a plateau. So I mean, physically you're on a diet, and now you're hitting a plateau. What's all that about?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, your body gets used to processing foods and metabolizing at a certain rate. So you want to keep confusing it. So it's always good to shock your body into making different food choices. Changing up exercises is also a great idea to really kind of create that confusion. So variety is good. You want to be able to shake things up every now and then before it gets really in a consistent pattern where it kind of gets used to what it's doing. And breaking the plateau is just about making different choices and shaking things up a little bit.
And shaking things up is absolutely what we do. So when you talk about some of the physical reasons are also because at first, like if you have more weight to lose,
yes,
you'll lose more weight more rapidly, and then as you kind of get closer to your goal, you may end up like hitting that. I mean, people call them plateaus. I've always called them brick walls because
brick walls,
I've been there where you're like, I'm doing the right things, I'm trying to eat right, but what can I do? What else can I do other than eating right and exercising? And then, but let's talk a little bit about food ruts and what you get into. So maybe a little variety, you want to just talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have members all the time who, they like their routine. They eat the same power fuels. They eat the same vegetables, the same smart carbs every day, and their body gets used to that. So sometimes, often, it's not also about, eating, the calories, the less calories in those proteins. Sometimes it's a matter of getting, better quality proteins through your tuna fish, your protein shakes, your egg whites, rather than your peanut butters or your milks or your nuts, those kinds of things. So sometimes it helps to shake it up to get more quality proteins.
Not all proteins are created equal?
Not all proteins are created equal. Absolutely
so give me some examples of better proteins. So you said
Absolutely.
tuna. So can you give me like some of the proteins that not all? I'm not saying that these proteins are bad, but can you say these proteins like these are preferred and these might help you break that plateau a little bit?
Well, yeah. If you think about it, like one egg or a tablespoon of peanut butter, you think about power fuels like that. They're a little higher in fat and they're a little lower in protein. A lot of people don't realize this, but when we say like have a spoon of peanut butter as a power fuel, it's actually a little bit under that 5 calories that we recommend for the power fuel. When you add it to an apple or when you add it to like a slice of bread, that will add a couple more grams of protein to make that power fuel serving, but for the most part it's pretty light in protein. So I have the big 5 that I recommend. That is Greek yogurt, egg whites, a full cup of egg whites. You won't have the yolk, you'll just have all the egg whites and all the protein that goes with it. Tuna fish, chicken, and protein shakes. So those are the big 5 that I usually recommend. Some cottage cheeses are pretty high in protein as well too.
I'm all about egg whites with you.
Yeah,
I love egg whites.
I do like egg white omelets. You can do
egg white omelets. I do egg white omelets all the time, and then salsa on them.
Yep. All good choices.
All good choices. So some examples of those higher fat, not higher protein proteins. Sorry. So the ones that maybe are on the lower spectrum.
Yeah,
a
lot of people, especially when they're first getting started, they think the less they eat, the better. So they'll go for like one egg, which is only about 70 calories, which is a little less than the power fuel serving. And because of the yolk, it's a little higher in fat and a little less in protein. A lot of people like to do the nuts, like the 2 tablespoons of nuts or 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. Again, good power fuels. There's enough calories in there, but it's a little lower over on the protein side of things. So if you switch up to those higher protein power fuels, and don't be afraid to do the full 120 calories as well. The biggest reason why most, especially women, hit a plateau is that they're under that 1,200 calorie minimum. And that's what they don't understand. They get afraid when they get close to that 1,200 calories because, oh, I don't want to go over that because that's the maximum. No, 1,200 calories is the minimum. So, be generous with those power fuel servings. Serve the full 120 calories in a high protein power fuel, and that will help you break that plateau as well.
So I actually, I agree with that because, if you're trying to lose weight, you're really like, okay, I really got to be good here. So, hearing that 1,200 calories is, the minimum, not the maximum, because I think we do try to skimp, and then we're hungry, and then we're not hitting it, and then we're getting this frustration. And then also there's I've heard this thing where your body will go into starvation mode if you're not getting enough calories. So that could also be another reason for a plateau.
It's a very big reason why people hit plateaus. I'll tell you this, I work on chats, so I do about 100 chats a day when I speak with our members on counseling. I can tell you probably 80 of those 100 chats are dealing with starvation mode or under eating. So if you want to know one of the secrets to breaking the plateau right there, it's mostly because people are skipping power fuels and they're not eating the full minimum calorie recommendation. The sweet spot for those calories, 1,250 to 1,350 for a regular women's program. So that's a good benchmark.
So there's a little bit of room in there.
Yeah, there's a great amount of room in there.
Yeah, so there's not so stringent. Okay, so we've got some people listening. I want to do a shout out to Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa, and thank you for doing our Facebook takeover. You did that 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
it was
great.
very nice, and we love your tips. And then we have some people that Cheryl.
Hello, Cheryl.
Just started the program, and she says she feels better already. So
Yay.
she's not having that plateau.
All right, woo woo.
But then Linda Marie says she's down 58 pounds. What?
Congratulations.
Shout out for 58 pounds.
58.
But she says she's weighing in tomorrow, but feels like she's going to try to do what we suggest.
Good.
Change up her power fuel and smart carb.
Excellent.
I think that's a great idea.
Excellent.
When you look at all the things that you could do and options that are out there, it's good to say, okay, so I can switch up the food. And then do you want to talk about also, so a Nutrisystem has dinners and lunches, and so sometimes people will switch those around is that a good strategy?
Sure, it is a good strategy, and I'll tell you why. Switching the lunches and the dinners, it helps to switch up again the routine. So if you're switching it up, the dinners will have a little bit more calories, and if you're eating that earlier in the day, you have more time to burn those off. And then when you have the lunch later on in the evening, you're getting a little bit less calories in. So that might prove to be beneficial if you're used to doing it, the regular way, lunches earlier, dinners later. Another reason why that we say to have the dinners later, it's a little bit more in calories and it also has more protein. So here's a little rule of thumb as well too. A lot of people ask me, well, what time should you stop eating during the day?
Right.
Well, the rule is there is really no rule, because if you're on the program, you're getting enough calories that you need for your metabolism to function. Right. So it's a good idea to have more of the carbs earlier and more of the proteins later. So
that's
another way.
interesting. Oh, that's a great idea to have more carbs at the beginning of the day and more proteins at the end. So if you're going to have some, that tuna or perhaps that piece of chicken that could come later on. So if you're trying to break that plateau, that may be a good way to switch up your metabolism.
Yeah, switch the Nutrisystem snack with a power fuel. So if you have that Nutrisystem snack earlier in the day and then save that power fuel for later, that helps with reproducing muscles later. When you're sleeping, your body is also regenerating and reproducing as well too. So having the proteins and the vegetables later in the day is a great idea for burning fat, and having more of the carbs earlier when your body needs that energy is very helpful as well too.
Right. Okay, so we're going to do another shout out. Hi, Morgan.
Hey, Morgan.
It's good to see you. And so we have Jane, who's been on it a month and only lost 6 pounds.
Hi, Jane. Okay. 6
so
pounds.
1 month, 6 pounds. So that's actually not too bad.
That's not too bad.
You're actually right on target. So it should be like 1 pound to 2 pounds
per week.
So good job.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations.
So don't say only. Congratulations. Slow and steady. Keep on going. That's the way to go. So who else have we got here? What can I nibble? Mary wants to know what she can nibble on in the middle of the night. So to your point about that you can eat you know, until you've got your fill of your calories, what can she nibble on at night? So it's Mary.
Yep. Hi, Mary. Yep. So you can always go for those unlimited vegetables. So that's always a good go-to. You can save a power fuel for later in the evening. Also, if you're fairly active, if you're doing a little bit of activity a day, like a half hour of walking or any kind of exercise, you know, having that one extra, you know, protein power fuel, kind of higher in protein, lower in fat, you can nibble on that as well. It won't hurt you at all. But first choice, go for the vegetables. Second choice, go for the protein.
So Mike is the very first man that I've ever talked to, and he was like, you must love your vegetables. So this is something that he says all the time, is you must love your vegetables. So this is great advice.
I do a hypnosis routine. Vegetables, vegetables, vegetables.
They're great. So you should never be hungry, and there are so many different options.
There's ways
with
you can
vegetables.
prepare them, yes.
So tell us, because I know you have your favorites that you like to do. So tell us, it's not just opening up carrot sticks and.
No, it's not. There's a lot of creative ways that you can fix vegetables. One is, you know, you can blend them in a blender and juice all your vegetables, and that's really good. I like to actually cook spinach up and put all kinds of different spices. I kind of like get creative with cooking with spices with spinach. You can really do amazing things with spices. You know, I kind of use well, maybe this doesn't really count as a spice, but kind of like little bacon bit type stuff in the spinach. But there's all kinds of seasonings and spices that you can get really creative, and you can cook those vegetables. And remember that half a cup of cooked vegetables goes a long way. It's a one full serving. So you can get creative with that. I like grab and go vegetables like baby carrots, sliced peppers, snap peas. So those are all good that you can go along and crunch on. Rather than the potato chips, you can go for the baby carrots, and they're fairly sweet as well too. So it can help with sweets sometimes if you have a sweet
totally.
craving.
So there's, I mean, carrots have a little bit higher sugar than most vegetables, so they are sweet. And
but they're still unlimited on our program.
They are unlimited. You can have as many carrots as you want. Okay, so then there we have some shout outs saying cauliflower rice. So I know this is something that people are talking about more and more about cauliflower rice. It's becoming the kale of this year. So so cauliflower rice, is that something that you can have unlimited as well?
As far as I know, yeah. It's only made with cauliflower, isn't it?
Yeah, what they do is they just grind it up. And then people are making cauliflower crusted pizzas.
Oh, wow.
So there's actually a recipe for this on the leaf, where you take cauliflower and then you can use it as one of your flex meals. So, you know, and I've heard people make it, and so some of our nutritionists made it, and they thought it was pretty good.
That sounds great. I have to try that yet, so yeah.
So yeah, check out the leaf. And you should check out the leaf too.
Weightloss.nutrisystem.com.
And then, okay, so Jennifer is fighting cravings for tacos, real pizza, and hush puppies.
Okay.
Help.
Okay.
So yes, we will help.
Yes, absolutely, Jennifer. And please, you know, feel free to call or chat in as well. We can help you make small goals to help you around that. Plus, you know, real pizza, you can use a slice of it as a flex meal. That's fine. So you want to keep your flex meals between 200 and 360 calories for the dinner portion. So those are fine. The hush puppies you want to ease up on a little bit if you can. What was the other thing she said that she was craving? Tacos. So remember, tacos are a good flex meal as well too. So the beef in the taco counts towards your power fuel serving. You know, the tortilla shells can count towards the smart carb serving. So you can still serve them every now and then. Another thing you can do if it's a craving that happens regularly, you call into counseling. We can help remind you about why it's important for you to lose the weight, and then just get through the day, get through 2 days without snacking on things that you are craving, and start to build momentum, and then reward yourself after going 5 or 6 days with a flex meal like the tacos or the pizza.
Right. So I know that working out is near and dear to your heart.
Yes, it is.
And so part of hitting a plateau is also that once you start to lose weight, you lose a little bit of muscle tissue, and so that can help. That can hinder weight loss as well, because your metabolism isn't as high because of the. So do you want to chat about that a little bit?
Certainly.
Because you're the guy who knows this stuff.
Absolutely. So I will tell you that the way you exercise is very important to your weight loss. There is a way to exercise that's counterproductive to weight loss as well too. it's a very good idea to start thinking in terms of doing both strength training and fat-burning cardio. I'm assuming that since if you're on the nutrisystem diet, you want to lose weight. So it's important to maintain a strength training regimen. What it does is if you are continuing to maintain muscle, that will help with your metabolism. It will burn fat. So that's very important, especially the older you get. My doctor had told me the older you are, the more strength training you should actually incorporate into your exercise. So, for instance, I'm gonna reveal my age here. I'm 40, so I'm 40 years old. So I should be spending 40% of my time with strength training, and 60% of my time with fat burning cardio. So
that's a great way to put it.
Yep. So, and that's the thing. A lot of times, our members will knock themselves out on a treadmill or go running for 2 hours, and they'll wonder why they won't lose weight. So for one thing, you have to make sure you're eating enough to support that exercise.
Right.
But for another thing is, if you're maintaining your muscle and then going to fat burning cardio, which is a little bit less, you don't have to knock yourself out with fat burning cardio. It's mostly a brisk walk, maybe a light jog. What happens is your body gets enough oxygen to burn the fat, burn the fatty acids. If you're working too hard, it's not getting the nutrients. It's going into that hibernation mode, and it'll cause a plateau, and it'll help. It'll cause frustration. So it's a very good idea to start thinking about in terms of how you exercise. Are you combining strength training and fat burning cardio effectively to support your weight loss goals and your diet on your low calorie diet as well? And that's something as counselors we can help you to figure out and to strategize there as well.
Right.
So it's very important to find the correct balance for you based on your current activity level, based on your age, and based on your interests. So we would love to have that conversation with you about how your exercise is either helping or hindering the weight loss. Now, there's a lot of other benefits you could be getting. You could be in great shape cardiovascularly. You could be gaining muscle, but the weight isn't moving. So we can help you kind of pinpoint exactly how to massage that exercise routine to support what you're seeing on the scale and what you're seeing on the inches as well.
Absolutely. And only start the exercise program if you've cleared it with your doctor.
Absolutely.
So that's something you want to
Thank you for sneaking that in.
Sure, sneaking that in. Got to do the disclaimer. So while we're at it, we're going to do a couple more shout outs. But while we're doing shout outs, can you guys, if anybody's listening and you want to just put on or watching, if you would like to tell us how much weight you lost, just 43 pounds or 15 pounds or 6 pounds or whatever, we're trying to do some shout outs.
We'll give you some shout outs.
So Steve lost.
Hey, Steve.
He's eating 1,500 calories. He lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks. Is that normal? Oh my gosh, 10 pounds in 2 weeks.
Congratulations, that's great.
Oh my gosh, that's actually a lot.
Yep.
So normal is 1 to 2 pounds per week, but Mike, you're doing great.
Yeah,
it's a little on the high side, but a lot of people have a great amount of success, and again, it depends on how much weight you have to lose.
Yeah, the first week or two can sometimes be a little bit more, but it will average out to about 1 to 2 pounds. So I just want you all to be very clear about that, and really celebrate those victories. That anything within that range is a victory. And those first 2 weeks, if you do a little bit more, don't panic. And talk to us. We'd love to help you, kind of sort through what's going on. But yes, 10 pounds in the first 2 weeks is not unheard of. So keep going, and just make sure that consistent weight loss continues to happen. We want to look for that 1 to 2 pounds a week soon.
Okay, are you ready for shout outs?
Yep, shout outs.
Whoop, whoop. Morgan, 110 pounds.
Whoa, congratulations.
And Ron lost 22 pounds in
Ron
his first month.
lost 22 pounds. Congratulations.
And Elkie said 775. I think you mean 75.
75.
But congratulations. And Shauna, 47. And
Congratulations,
Jackie, 14. Wait, 14 since February 1st? Jackie, you're killing it.
That's
oh
great,
my gosh.
Jackie. Congratulations.
That's a lot. Ron lost 22 pounds in his first month. So anyway, so those shout outs are really great. So we did have some people that were asking some questions about just getting started. Okay, let's see. 15 pounds from Michael with no exercise.
All right.
Michael, that's great.
Good job.
Well, we love it that you can do that. So when we talk about, hitting plateaus, there's other people that are just getting started and they haven't hit that plateau mark yet, or maybe they're struggling with what to do to get started. So is there any tips or anything that you can give some newbies?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I always go back to that counseling service. When you're first starting, check in with us once a week, usually for the first 2 or 3 weeks, just to make sure that you're avoiding little mistakes from the very beginning. First of all, a lot of our members, they confuse how many Nutrisystem snacks they can have in a day and what they can have in Power Fuels and Smart Carbs. If you're talking to us once a week for the first 2 or 3 weeks, we can help you avoid those common mistakes in the very beginning and get you eating the right Power Fuels and the right Smart Carbs right away. And then after 2 or 3 weeks, if you're losing that 1 to 2 pounds every week, you're good to go. If you ever go a week where you're not losing, then it's a time to call into us again. We'll go over everything and get you through that first little plateau. But in the beginning, communication is the best. So it's best to communicate when you're starting once a week, and it's best to communicate once a week as you get closer to your goal.
Definitely.
So that you can transition successfully, and we can help you with those new habits that you're learning. But yes, for someone who's just starting, call us. Look over that material. Call us once a week for the first 3 weeks. We'll get you started, and you'll avoid a lot of common mistakes, right out of the box there.
So we also have Wendy, who lost 58 pounds in 4 months.
Congratulations, Wendy!
Wendy, woohoo! And then Eileen, who walks a couple of miles a day at work, takes the stairs and haven't gone back to the gym, but she's down 28 pounds. So Eileen lost 28 pounds. Congratulations,
Eileen.
Keep on going. And then, or if you need to keep on going, maybe you're at your weight. And then, what's the point of eating your calories back? This is from Paula. What's the point of eating your calories back?
Yeah, as far as working out, as far as eating your calories back of what you burn off, it will help with your metabolism. It will help you to. It will help your metabolism to burn the right calories and also store the proteins as fat. Store the proteins as muscle. We don't go by too much stock with that here at Nutrisystem. We want to make sure that you're within a certain calorie range. If you are active, we want to make sure that you're 1 calorie band higher. For instance, a woman's program should normally be in the 1500 range. So that's what we pay attention here at Nutrisystem. You want to keep your exercise, within about an hour a day. If you go more than that, if you're burning more calories over the hour, the low-calorie Nutrisystem will not be as effective. So you want to talk to a counselor to possibly add in more foods to help with those calories that you burn off. So we're here to help you with that. But mostly, you just want to stay within the recommended calorie amounts that we prescribe for you based on your activity, your age, and your height, and all of those other profile factors as well.
Terrific. We have one question from Lori, and she wants to know if she could do Turbo Week again.
Sure. You can do the Turbo Week every 4 weeks. So it's we don't recommend doing that back to back. The 1,000 calories or less, should only be done for a week. It's not recommended to do that more than a week. So if you want to do that a month later, to try to get through a plateau, that's fine. If you're really active and exercising a lot, we don't really recommend that because the less calories will not help as much as if you're eating enough to support your exercise. So if you're fairly inactive and you want to do the Turbo Takeoff Week, we recommend waiting 4 weeks before you do that again.
Right, and also be aware that the Turbo Week is, a lot of people see a great jump start on that, but it also can be one of those places where you end up stalling because the food isn't as interesting. I mean, I don't want to say it like that, but you get more variety. You can get more food.
And remember, the first time you do that, most people are going from not dieting to the low calories, so they're going to get a good jump start there. But if you're already used to eating lower calories, in between, you might see a little bit of an improvement, but it won't be as dramatic as it is on the first week. So the best thing to do is, count on that 1 to 2 pounds a week. Slow and steady wins the race. And incorporating, your activity and speaking with a counselor and just kind of getting all those pieces of the puzzle in line as well.
Okay, another question from Jane.
Hi, Jane.
Jane is going on a trip and doesn't think that she can take her Nutrisystem food with her.
Okay.
So You can take it on a plane, but there are, perhaps some strategies you want to go over as far as traveling.
Absolutely. So there's that eating out guide that comes with the order. So you want to take a look at the eating out guide. Knowing flex meals are very good for taking a trip or traveling. So it helps you to exercise that portion control when you're eating off of the program. So, it's great to take a trip and to use more of those flex meals because you're also teaching yourself how to transition back to regular foods. So we talked earlier about power fuels and smart carbs. When in doubt, err on the side of proteins. Flex meals are usually about 160 to 240 calories for breakfast and lunch. You can use our Numi app, or you can use an app to, look up how many calories are in a meal, especially when you're traveling. Dinners are a little bit on the higher end, about 240 to 360 calories. You want to, again, err on the side of proteins with that as well. So look over the eating out guide, plan ahead, think about foods you might want to have while traveling, and you can fit that within those flex meal guidelines. So that's a very good tidbit of information. And, you learn as you travel as well too.
Yeah, so I always pack snacks.
That's a
so
good
I always
idea.
make sure I pack the snacks, the bars, that kind. So because then I know I can have those because they don't. I haven't had a bar C's, but I don't know what airline you're going. But you can always ask the TSA if it's good, and if you can shoot them a picture. And they're actually there. They have an Instagram and a Facebook. If you take a picture and you say, "Is this okay?" They'll say yes or no. We have a gentleman who just moving on. It's been 3 weeks, Jimmy. It's been 3 weeks, and he hasn't lost any weight.
Okay. Yep.
So, call a counselor. What would you suggest?
Absolutely. Well, first thing is call a counselor, Jimmy. There's usually a reason why someone goes 3 weeks without losing weight, and we can usually pinpoint it, within the first couple minutes of speaking with you. So first of all, we want to make sure you're eating everything that the plan is prescribing. The 3 meals a day for the men. It's 2 snacks a day. At least 3 power fuels and 2 smart carbs, 4 vegetables. If any of those are missing, your weight loss will probably slow down. Based on your current weight and your activity level, you might need a little bit more. So those are the first couple things we're going to check with you as counselors to make sure you're eating enough to support your weight loss. So we're going to go into those factors with you. If you're already doing that, we're going to start to look a little closer at the types of power fuels that you are choosing, the types of smart carbs that you are choosing, and maybe make just little slight suggestions like we talked at the top of the hour, and get more higher protein power fuels in based on whatever it is where you're at personally. So we want to get a real personal picture of where you're at, what you've been doing the last 3 weeks, and help you make those corrections.
So we had one question by Wendy who said that and that after 4 months she lost, I assume she was losing weight all along, and then in 1 week she lost 8 pounds.
Okay.
And just wants to know if that's normal. I would think that that's not typical.
It's not typical.
It's not typical. Usually you lose 1 to 2 pounds. But it's a good thing to suddenly get on the scale. But Wendy, do you have any suggestions for her? Does she want to call in?
Just keep going. So don't be. I would try not to be frustrated if sometimes you lose that amount and some of it comes back. So it averages out. We're talking about averages here. Sometimes people will, lose 6 pounds, go nowhere for another couple weeks, but it still averages out to 1 to 2 pounds. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Taking measurements also helps because that will help you to gauge if you're gaining muscle, losing fat. What's going on that front as well too. So if it's just the 1 week, it's not typical, but I wouldn't be worried about it. If you start dropping weight like crazy like that, then we definitely need to check that you're eating enough on that front as well too.
I know, and then we have people that would like to lose more. Like Anna's only lost 1 pound a week for 9 weeks. That's good.
It's consistent, and that's what we want to see is consistency.
Right, so it sounds like you're heading in the right direction. I know you wish it was more. We all wish it was more. It's just that it took a while to gain weight, so it takes a while to lose it. So there's that, the slow and steady, and to be patient with yourself, because there are times, I know, when I don't eat the right things, and then I get on the scale, and I'm actually kind of excited that it didn't go up as much as I thought it was going to. So then, you get, it's the same way where, you step on the scale and the scale is like
Yes.
not moving as fast as you'd
Yeah.
like. And then we also had a question about how often to weigh yourself.
Yes, good question. We recommend once a week. Your weight is going to fluctuate from day to day, so you can save yourself a lot of your own sanity by just weighing yourself once a week, the same time of day, on the same scale, under the same circumstances. So just once a week is enough. That's what we want to see, is 1 to 2 pounds a week, and we want to see that consistently. So that's more than enough, is once a week.
Okay, so I'm one of those people that loses their sanity because I weigh myself every day.
Yeah.
I know, it's terrible. But I weigh myself because I must know. But then I'm also disappointed a lot of times when I get on the scale. So we do recommend once a week. It's if you get on the scale more than that, of course, you're not going to, it's not going to don't obsess over it. Is what we're trying to say.
Don't be attached
Don't
to
obsess.
the outcome of the day to day. Take the weekly one seriously, though.
And then also, we don't always stress this enough, is that to take your body measurements, because a lot of times you may not be losing on the scale, but you're losing in other places.
Yes.
And that's really important too.
Yes, your body composition will change, and that is a positive effect of the diet and the weight loss program. So it's very important to take measurements to see if you might be dropping fat, but maintaining or gaining muscle. So take measurements in the neck, the chest, the arms, the waist, the hips, the thighs, and the calves.
Right.
And you can take your total inches of what you lose every week, and that will factor in as well, not just the weight loss.
Okay, Jamie has a very specific question.
Yes.
And her question is, she
Jamie?
wants to know if eating yogurt in the morning is hindering her weight loss. She's using
yogurt
She's
in the
having
morning.
it as her power fuel in the morning.
Okay. Yeah. Are you not? I wanted to know if she's not losing weight, but it should not alone should be hindering your weight loss at all. Ideally, you want to have a high protein yogurt, like a Greek yogurt. Yogurt by itself is great. If you're having other high protein power fuels in the day, yogurt is great. But if you feel like you're hindering yourself, you can switch from dairy to more meat-based, like egg whites or chicken, or the protein shakes like we talked about earlier. We often recommend maybe going away from dairy and more towards the meat type of power fuels as well if you're on a plateau. So again, if you go back to those big 5 that we talked about earlier, usually you're okay.
Because Greek yogurt's on his top 5.
Yes, it is.
So for people that are coming in late, Greek yogurt, chicken,
egg whites, tuna fish, protein shakes.
Protein shakes, so I missed that.
Yep.
Anyway, so those are the things that Mike recommends as far
Absolutely.
as great high protein ways of getting your power fuels.
Yep.
So anyway, so we have a lot of people that have done a lot of great weight loss. I mean, we have 57 pounds, 68 pounds,
68.
36 pounds. We
36.
have all these people that are losing weight. And, at some point or another in your weight loss journey, you lose weight. So what we would like to do is just encourage you that if you're at a plateau, continue on, fight the good fight. It didn't take you overnight to get to the weight that you're at. So give yourself a little bit of a break, and you can lose the weight. So hang in there. So you want to give us a little bit of last little bit of advice before we sign off for the evening?
Yep. Yeah. Again, we're here to help you. So that's the most important thing, is that you're not alone. Oftentimes, because we're available on the phone or we're available on a chat line, people forget that we're there. We're there for you. We want to hear from you.
Right.
And it's also helpful to just remind yourself, of what your goal is and why it's important to you. And to help and to put yourself into that future where you've already accomplished your goals. If you want to travel, where do you want to travel to? If you want to buy new clothes, what new clothes are you going to buy? Make it specific, make it real, inspire yourself, so that that you're not just going through a routine that's meaningless. Find your own meaning to it, and if you can go back to that, and if that can light you up inside, and we're here to help you to help that light you up inside. You're mentally, that's half the battle right there, is to keep yourself inspired.
Right. It is very difficult to keep yourself inspired. So having like-minded people, the counselors, you can call them, other people that are on our Facebook page. We have a lot of people that will encourage you. You can come and ask questions. So feel free. We are here for you, and we want to help you to bust those pesky plateaus, because we all don't like them. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us, and good night.
Good night.